Welcome to StarCard Podcast. StarCard Podcast. Who needs Saturday morning cartoons when Breakaway Ray is throwing tarot cards? That guy's crazy. Hey everyone, my name is Breakaway Ray. Were you just talking about me just now? You've tuned into a live tarot throw. Today is June 13th, 2026. It's 7-Card Saturday. We're going to start off the show by dishing out 7 cards and divining a message of wisdom from the tarot world. Then we'll be answering the question, is Breakaway Ray a Rosicrucian? Then we're going to try to answer this question too. Also, what's a Rosicrucian? Some other questions we're going to ask the tarot world include the idea of quantum shifting while you're in this lifetime, and get a head start in designing the next one. After we've covered all those ideas and some little stories I want to share, I'm guessing it's going to take about an hour. It'll be time for tarot for the audience, everybody. If you're tuning in live, check the chat for my instructions at the top. Choose a deck, make a request, or just trust that the tarot world knows what you want to talk about. And then in about an hour, I'll check for capital letters that say tarot, please, and we'll throw all the cards we need to make everybody happy. I love throwing tarot cards. Thanks for joining me early on a Saturday morning. Let's go to the tarot cam. I got to clean up down here. Yeah, tarot for the audience. Can't wait. Going down. Oh, that's right. Guess what? Breakaway Ray took out the tie-dye deck. Everybody loves these colors. I know, they're hard to resist. I get a sense of the divine feminine and empowerment as well. People who really know how to handle what's going on and the new changes with the age of Aquarius. They're making it happen. I want to get the stage set just right there. Can you guys see the pic? There we go. 7-Card Saturday. Yay, tarot world. You think the tarot world's not been waiting for this too? My head's been ringing for the last couple of hours. So yesterday, I broke my media fast. Oh, I guess I got to come upstairs for this part. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. Right, so I skipped a day of doing a StarCard podcast, and I broke my media fast. So I'm going to be talking about that today. And now I have like too much to say. All right, so let's go back downstairs and rejoin 7-Card Saturday, still in action. You want to see what video I watched, by the way? Check the description. Have you heard of Rudolf Steiner? Okay. Here we go. All right, tarot. What have I got? Oh, that's one of my decks of cards. Stand by. Yeah. Okay, better. I like it. All right, here we go. It's the tie-dye deck. It's actually called the Fantasy Color Deck. And tarot world, I invite you now. You have the stage. I want you to show off your colors and share some wisdom with us. Probably you have an anticipatory set yourself, tarot world. You're a great teacher. Probably want to introduce today's themes to the audience. We're going to be talking about reincarnation again. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Metempsychosis. Welcome back, reincarnation. We haven't talked about you in a while. All right. Here we go. 7-Card Saturday. Stand by for the fun. The cards are sufficiently randomized. Seven-Card Saturday. Almost there. All right. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to try my best to turn the images from this gorgeous tarot deck into words of wisdom that can inspire us and keep us enthused and capitalizing on every moment we have here on Surface Planet Earth. First up, it's the Emperor, the card that says you are in control. This sounds like it's going to be easy reading, everybody. We're already starting off with the first card, and it's got that little catchphrase, you're the boss, you're in control. What are we in control of? The Four of Cups. This card represents remembering to be grateful for all the things the universe gives us. And sometimes that requires doing a diagnostic, like sitting down and taking stock of what's going on, stepping outside yourself and looking at things objectively, separating your emotions from the circumstances that might be provoking them. Because after all, from the beginning to begin with, you were in control. So now you get to say, well, what did I do? Let's look back on the experiment. How's it going? Get out your lab book. Well, welcome to Surface Planet Earth. The Five of Cups says there's going to be disappointment, but that's how you learn, right? I may not be a big fan of Thomas Edison, but I believe he is attributed to the expression, genius is 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration. Okay, so it's going to be hard work. There's going to be trials and errors. There's going to be mistakes made. And that's the fun of being here on Surface Planet Earth. You know, it's like the fun house with all the mirrors. Whoa. And so the end of this sentence says, the Page of Pentacles reminds us that this is your opportunity on Surface Planet Earth. You got this great lifetime and you can capitalize upon it. All right. You're the boss. So consider everything that's going on, including the gifts that the universe gives you that end up looking like disappointments and mistakes, because they're going to keep on sending you that until you learn the lesson. So figure it out because you get to carry this lesson into the next life. You know, growing up in the United States, that doesn't sound like something I would ever say, but I'll say it again. You know what? If you figure it out this lifetime, you get to take it into the next lifetime. So, Seven of Wands, stand up to all the challenges. You came down here to address them all. And the Eight of Wands says, do it right now. Yeah, sweet. And the Page of Cups says, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It starts with you're in control. Okay. This sounds like the typical processing of karma. So as I understand it, and I'm not claiming that I really do, but you come down to earth, you're the boss, you get to evaluate what's going on. You get to take these disappointments, pains, and traumas and transform them. That's the whole point of being down here. That's the quote unquote fun. You can actually convert this stuff into currency. Okay. So stand up to all the challenges right now. Be confident in yourself. Okay. Because you got a pleasant surprise on the way. What a nice way to start your Saturday. Look at that. There's a kid who's also watching cartoons saying you're going to have a happy, pleasant surprise. You know, if you keep this mindset. Thank you very much, Tarot World, for the gorgeous images and the wonderful thought, you know, to affirm, right? We got happy surprises coming our way. Let's give these cards a toss and move on with my essays. Thanks, Tarot World. So, anyway, I broke my media fast yesterday. I was like in the middle of like 8 chores. I'm going to be talking about it. Okay. And I went ahead and clicked on this link that I did put in the featured part of the description in today's STARCARD podcast. Okay. It's called Rosicrucianism. Rosicrucianism. There you go. called Rosicrucianism, and it's actually like an essay. I may have referred to it as a book, but it's an essay, and it was read by a gentleman. It took about 48 minutes. And I got to hand it to the gentleman. I want to do it right now. Okay. I want to hand it to the gentleman who recorded that essay, right? People need to hear what Rudolf Steiner, who is the author of that Rosicrucianism essay, has to say. Okay. People need to hear about it. And this gentleman makes it very easy. And it's very obvious. And he's just reading, papers in a book or pages in a book, because you can hear him turning the pages. And it's very raw, but he does a very good job. And I compliment him because it's a gift. It's a gift for like the future. What if people can't find a copy of Rudolf Steiner's work? Okay. How else can they get access to that information and the work that he put together? And I think that's great that he made an audio book about it. Now, having said that, I've listened to a few of these recordings by this particular gentleman who I just saluted. I just saluted the guy. Okay. And in case you can't tell, if it's not overly obvious, I get bored fast. And so I might have a little fatigue from hearing his voice, especially now that I'm in a media fast. All right. But I want to let you know, while I was doing these chores yesterday, I'm doing this for all the people that have been following me in my media fast since March. Since I was, so occupied, and Rosicrucianism seems to be something that I'm supposed to be learning about, because on my feed, it just keeps coming up. Rudolf Steiner this, and then Rosicrucianism this. You know what? I already know enough. I already get what the idea is with religions, okay? I'm kind of like going in the right direction, I think. Not to say I got anything figured out, okay? But I just don't think I need like the extra information. But anyway, I'm all okay. Here, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to hear some more Mr. Rudolf Steiner, and I'm going to learn about Rosicrucianism from him. He must be some kind of an authority. Hey, if you're not familiar with Rudolf Steiner, he is a psychic, and he's an author, and I'm just going to call him a philosopher. And so I'll read to you a little bit more about him in a minute. And then you can see, now I'm on a media fast, and so I'm previewing it, everybody, okay? I'm stepping all over myself to tell you what I did, okay? So after I was done, after 48 minutes with an interruption of about 12 minutes, okay, of listening to this essay while doing some chores and paying attention to what he's saying, okay, so now my unclouded head has all his thoughts in my brain. Okay, and it's not competing with any music from AC/DC or what's going on with the Knicks game or what's going on with the network news or any of the many reruns or new shows I might like to watch. I sure miss part of the interruption with Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. Well, anyway, I know I could watch it online, but again, it's like media fast. I got other stuff going on. Okay, I'm not going to get to the afterlife and say, well, I did religiously watch part of the interruption on ESPN. All right. And if you do, congratulations. I salute you too. I don't blame you. All right. I'm envious. So anyway, being on a media fast and having an uncluttered mind, I took all those thoughts and I had to write about 20 pages of notes. So I didn't wake up this morning and write. I did most of this yesterday and I reviewed it this morning. All right. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the computer and I'm going to read off another screen about Rosicrucianism, and it's linked to something called Theosophy. I'm just going to read it. I'm not sure I guess I could share. Can I still do that? Can I share on my own show? Let's see. I know you guys ain't got nothing better to do, but you can always press fast forward if this is a recording. Thanks for joining me. Okay, let's see if I can share. Oh, that's the one I want. That's right. I'm going to share it, everybody. But I also have to be able to read. Here I go. Is a spiritual, philosophical, and cultural movement that emerged in 17th century Europe, revolving around a secret brotherhood claiming to possess ancient esoteric wisdom. It harmonizes mysticism and Christian traditions and is symbolized by a cross featuring a rose at its center. Rosicrucianism. Okay, core beliefs and practices. Esoteric knowledge. Followers believe in hidden spiritual truths and natural laws that have been passed down from ancient mystery traditions. Spiritual alchemy. I like this part. Practitioners focus on inner transformation, refining their character, improving health, and developing a deeper understanding of consciousness. Syncretism. I think we shall all be learning about what syncretism means together. Syncretism, the philosophy blends elements of Hermeticism, Christian mysticism, the Kabbalah, and early modern science. Stand by. And symbolism. This is clearly the most artistic and lovely part, right? Symbolism. The quote-unquote rose cross represents the human experience. The cross symbolizes the physical body, and the rose represents the unfolding of the soul and spiritual awakening. And I also imagine and visualize that electromagnetic embodiment of our spirit overlaid onto our physical vehicle. Rosicrucianism. Okay. And I'm going to skip ahead. I had a question about it. Yeah, let's go right down. How about that? I didn't read this part, and I'm anyway going to look at it later. But I will read this part to you, okay? Rosicrucians typically define themselves less as a dogmatic religion and more as a community of seekers studying natural laws in order to achieve spiritual enlightenment and a mastery of life. Okay, so I had a question. Is it still on here? Yeah. So I asked, how is Rosicrucianism related to theosophy? Because that's kind of important. That concept kept coming up along with Rosicrucianism. So I wanted to know what the tie was, right? So Rosicrucianism and theosophy are closely related branches of the Western esoteric tradition, both operating on the premise that a perennial philosophy, a single universal truth, underlies all the world's religions and mythologies. So when I read that, I reflected to the 1990s when I was a teacher of a 5th and 6th grade combination class here in California. Now, because I don't think people know what combination classes are, I'll go ahead and add a little detail. There were 36 kids in the room. 26 of them were 5th graders, and the rest of the class were 6th graders because they couldn't afford to have smaller classes. So anyway, there you go. I'm speaking to some kids. I'm in my late 20s at that point. I've spent a lot of time studying religions in college and even in high school, as a matter of fact, and studying my own. And I feel like I really could have studied my own even a little bit more. So anyway, I happen to be having a conversation with the class, and I mentioned, there's this religion and there's that religion, and even among my students, there were different religions in the class, of course. And here in the United States, we have freedom of religion. We can practice whatever we want. God bless us. God bless the United States for having that First Amendment. That's beautiful. Okay, that's a God-given right. All right. Okay, practice whatever religion you want as long as you're not hurting nobody. Everybody sounds good to me. Okay, but one of the things I said to the class was all the religions say the same thing, and it's true. They all say, "Hey, don't hurt nobody. Okay, be nice to each other. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Help each other out." Okay, they don't really say, pick a fight with somebody. They don't really say that. Okay, that's my take on it. This is for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, it's the middle of the night. It's going to be a long show. Are you having trouble sleeping? I want you to go ahead, close your eyes, and I'll just keep murmuring in the background, and maybe that'll put you to sleep. I bet there were some kids in my class who said, "I'm I'm being sedated right now, Mr. Breakaway." I'm teasing. They did not sleep in my class. All right, am I done reading this part? Okay, there we go. Let's read the second part. while they share a vast amount of philosophical DNA, they emerge centuries apart and have distinct structural and cultural differences. Okay. So anyway, I guess I shared what I needed to share about that so far. Let's go back to, let me see if I can find the show. Here we go. I'm trying to recover my window. Please stand by. Note to self, do not share next time. There we go. There you are. All right. All right. So now we've talked a little bit about what Rosicrucianism is. We browsed the idea of theosophy alongside of it. We mentioned Rudolf Steiner's name a few times, and now it's time for me to check my notes. I'll be repeating some of those themes. Oh, but I do have some more. I have a couple more anecdotes to set the stage. Okay, so let's start with Okay, so I like to brag about how I worked with elementary school children for 40 years and had an elementary school teaching career for 33. And my fistful of credentials and degrees. It was so awesome. Radical Breakaway Ray, good for you. Well, hard work. So, but early on as a student teacher out in Oak Park, California, I was at an elementary school and I was observing a classroom where a teacher worked with children who had special needs. And in this observation, in this grade, this is like from 40 years ago. In this observation, the teacher was working with maybe a 10, 11-year-old boy, a very nice boy. He was autistic, and she gave him a puzzle where there were different sizes of square cardboard cutouts, and it was his job to put them in some kind of order. And she was observing it, and this was like, it was now reflecting on my career, this was way, way, way more than what I thought it was. At the time, I was like in my early 20s. I was just coming out of being a camp counselor. So everything was a game for me, right? Everything's just fun, right? So anyway, there he is. He's like trying to figure out what the pattern is. And I'm all, here, let me show you. And I did it for him. And God bless this teacher. She was patient with me because, I messed up her whole thing. Not only was the kid supposed to do it for his own benefit, but she had to make an observation about it and write a report about it. And I messed it all up. And now that whole opportunity to work with that kid on that particular skill has to be redone. And so like I sabotaged that lesson and like her planning time. And she didn't say anything about it. Okay. But I know at 40 years later, I messed things up. Okay. So one of the things I learned early on as a student teacher is, people learn by doing it themselves. So that leads me to the second story. Later on in the 1990s, I do not think that this was in the 21st century. I'm working at that school where I spent 31 years of my career. Can you tell I'm getting emotional? Because, school just let out. Have a good summer, everybody. So anyway, late in the 1990s, okay, I was working and a new teacher came on the staff. That was always the case. And this lady was a really nice lady. I'm going to say her first name was Chrissy, and her maiden name happened to be an Italian surname that was one of the Italian surnames in my family. Oh, so naturally, I'm already thinking we're more than just paisans, right? We're family. We're practically cousins here. She married a very nice gentleman who was also a teacher. He had an Arab last name that sounded Italian. But anyway, so Chrissy comes into the school. She's a brand new teacher. She's always smiling, this lady. You could tell how precious I think it is now after some of the experiences I've characterized in other videos at StarCard Podcast. So anyway, Chrissy's, early September, and she needs to learn how to work a ditto machine, right? The one, it's got a wheel, and it's like a Gutenberg press, but you got to pour in some ink on the wheel, and then you put the transparency on and you crank it, or if it's automatic, you don't have to crank it, but and prints out like purple copies. And so anyway, I go up with her to the staff work area where you make the copies and where the ditto machines are. And looking back, we didn't teach at the same grade, and I didn't do it just because she's an Italian lady. Okay. I did it because probably nobody else was going to do it. And I happen to like helping. So I guess that's two reasons. Like, it's multidimensional, right? But anyway, there I am. I'm happy to help this lady out. So I'm all, okay, Chrissy, I just showed you, so now you do it. And because I got to know, is there some part you need help with, or you're not going to know how to do it until you actually do it yourself. So where's your copy at? Let's put the transparency on the drum, on the wheel, and then you do it. And then Chrissy was a brand new teacher herself, and she looked at me and she said, "You know what, Ray, you are a real teacher, right? Because you let the kids do it first, okay, and that's how they learn." Even though, she was an adult in her 20s, and I was still in my maybe early 30s at that point. I don't know. So anyway, wanted to share that story, right? Even teachers learn; they get better at their job, right? They sharpen their tools. They know when to step in if they're supposed to step in. But yeah, I've talked about this before. Does a student not feel empowered? Well, you know what? Let's accomplish something. And let's find out where that kid needs to start and build upon that. All right, check. Got that one out of the way. So yeah, I skipped a day, I think. So what do I have, like 2 days worth of stuff to talk about? I'm trying to help. All right. I'm now going to adjust the light so I can see my notes and still not look spooky. Stand by. See, that's spooky. All right, that's better. That's like a little bit more like in front of the campfire there. Okay, it's not flickering. Okay, good. I want to check it. I'm going to be checking my notes just for a moment, make sure I covered my thoughts. And then it gets very easy. Like, I got 16 pages, like totally scripted out. And I'm just going to be reading right off my papers. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So one of the things I have to tell you about, one of the videos I'll be referring to in my presentation is the top of the list at StarCard Podcast videos, not the live section, okay, but the videos section at the top. There's a picture of Bashar the alien, the extraterrestrial, okay. It's an interview Psychic Liz Cross and I did with various energies and entities, but I will be referring to things we talked about in that interview, including at the end. It was getting really good, but you know what? I was running out of time. Where apparently, so I got to get this part out of the way, right? Okay, so I'll tell you how the end of the Bashar video ends. Bashar writes a biography of Breakaway Ray, and then I ask him to come back at the end because I'm trying to figure out, do I have something going on, with how I don't like age like regular people. And according to Psychic Liz Cross and Bashar, this is for entertainment purposes only. Evidently, that is the case. And you can listen to it for yourself. And that was because something happened, in the life between lives. And I went in, and I'm all, you know what? We're not doing this aging thing anymore, sitting around on surface planet Earth, getting old. Okay. Cut that out. Flip this switch on my DNA for next time. So I'm using my imagination, trying to figure out what happened. And that's going to be tied into what we talk about here. Let me check and see if there's something else I want to talk about. I hope you're having fun. I see the names of some of the people in the chat right now. I know there's like one person in particular. Oh, is this going to be a 3-hour show? This is great. It's going to be the greatest day of my life. Okay, let's check and see what I got here. All right. So I did mention that the term Rosicrucian kept coming up on my feed. Okay. And I never wanted to click. I mean, it's been happening like for weeks or months. I'm okay. Yeah, I know. Rosicrucian. Okay. But, I'm getting tired of it. And I'm all, ugh, do I have to learn about these guys? All right. Well, anyway, there's a reason for it, apparently. There's a reason for it. Okay. And then I have to jump to Helena Blavatsky. And it gets a little bit more scripted here, okay? Helena Blavatsky is also a psychic who lived a while ago. I actually bought one of her books. I can't remember which one it was, but it's the one where she talks about traveling to the Himalayas and discovering a way into inner earth and how the reality is a little bit different and definitely brighter. And she characterizes it in a way I heard other people characterize inner earth environments. Okay. It's a different light. It's a brighter light. Well, anyway, I want to tell you that I read most of that book and I was doing the best I could. I didn't get all, I know I got at least halfway, but I didn't finish it all the way. So I'm full disclosure. I didn't get all the way through. So what do I want to say about Helena Blavatsky? Let me see. Helena Blavatsky. So I bought and read one of her books, but I don't have time to take a mystical trip to the Himalayas, and I can barely afford the time to read about hers. Okay, that was my book review. I'm sorry, no, she put so much work into writing that book. I wish I had the time, but I'm a little bombarded by some other ideas and things. Thank goodness she has, set aside her thoughts in that book for me. I can always return to it. So thank you, Madam Blavatsky. I can't wait to pick up your book again. You've already taught me a lot. So I didn't mean for that to sound flippant. Okay. Just because I'm cranky. Okay. So now the word theosophy kept coming up too on my feed. So let's see what I got to say here on page 2. Theosophy. Okay. I am surprised and proud that I know next to nothing about theosophy. Okay. Because I don't need to get up to speed on some other occult cult or whatever it is and learn about doing magic. Okay, I'm almost done on surface planet Earth. I want to get out of here without any more damage. Okay, it would be less insane of me to just keep pretending that magic is make-believe till I get out of here. All right. We're leading off with the word theosophy again. Do you get how it works? Okay, theosophy, I had more than one thought. Okay, theosophy. Why does my social media keep sending me videos about Rudolf Steiner? I don't even know if that guy's a theosophist. I don't know. Rudolf Steiner, I'm sorry. If you're telling me I'm supposed to identify with and understand Steiner and Blavatsky, that's not fair. They were psychics. I'm not psychic. I don't have time to sit around and meditate all day just so I can have spirits also tell me things that confuse and annoy me. See, I take a nice philosophical thing and Breakaway Ray it. Okay. This time, Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner, this guy is not mainstream. I got my fill of religions and philosophies by the time I was 20 years old. I get the idea. It's like, why would I go off and study Mormonism? I'm never going to convert or teach religion. Why did Mormons constantly surround me in my life? I'm not drawn to Mormonism. Why did I even have a Mormon Bible at my house? Out of respect? As a courtesy to the person who gave it to me and burdened me with it? So before I go to the next page, I just want to say, I'm playing up the little the crosstown rivalry here with Roman Catholicism. I just want to say I have so much respect for the Mormons that have been in my life. They've done nothing but help me and help others. I can't think of a single instance where they've been nothing but superior, humane people, kind people, wonderful community members. So, but I am teasing a little bit here. Okay, I guess I should have warned everybody before I started the show. Because here in the United States, they say you're not supposed to be talking about politics and religion. And I'm going to do both. Okay, So let's resume again, leading off with my idea about Mormonism. Okay, I got my fill of religions and philosophies by the time I was 20 years old. I get the idea. It's like, why would I go off and study Mormonism? I'm not going to convert. Okay, I'm a Roman Catholic, and it's too late for me to convert to anything. Okay, and I'm not going to teach religion. I don't need to learn about Mormonism, but I learned about it. Okay, but why do Mormons constantly surround me in my life? I'm not drawn to Mormonism. Why do I even have a Mormon Bible? Out of respect and courtesy to the person who gave it to me and now burdened me with it. Okay, it was a very nice gesture on their part. I want to thank them very much. You're sharing knowledge. Thank you. Okay, you give someone a book. Again, you're being a friend. Okay, the Mormon Bible, that thing has aliens in it, doesn't it? That's crazy. Give me good old 2,000-year-old Roman Catholicism. I guess I got to do that line over again. Okay, the Mormon Bible, that thing has aliens in it, doesn't it? That's crazy. Give me good old 2,000-year-old Roman Catholicism. Our religion has ties all the way back to Jesus, not some guy named Joe Smith. Okay, now I realize polygamy is not a thing with the Mormons anymore, and that the whole idea behind it was to go forth and multiply, and that it was a duty and a responsibility to the community to enter into polygamous arrangements. I like the idea of sacrifice and sense of duty to the community. I like that. I also just think that if I was there in the early days when the Mormons were adopting polygamy as a policy, I think I would have been brave enough to say something. I would have been like, guys, can any of us ever get it right with one wife? You think having more wives is going to make it better? Dude, they're going to turn on us. They're going to gang up. I tease everyone, including and especially myself. As it turns out, I've had at least one lifetime as a Mormon, which may explain the preponderance of Mormons in my life, all of them very good, caring, civil, God-loving, and positive people, constantly helping somebody. And so now I refer you again to the Psychic Liz Cross Appears playlist at StarCard Podcast, and find the one where she and I meet Sarah Adelia. And that's a previous lifetime of mine where I was among the Strangites at Beaver Island as a Mormon. That's just one lifetime as a Mormon. I'm pretty sure there were others. Anyway, let's go back to Theosophy and Rudolf Steiner. Again, I'm not even sure the two are tied, right? I just threw this together. Isn't it fun to talk about? Theosophy, Rudolf Steiner. I've tried listening to the audio recordings done in an authentic way by a man with integrity, giving a gift for the future and all who hear that recording. But I'm tired of hearing his voice. It's just as well. I don't need to become an expert on Rudolf Steiner. Why? Speaking of Psychic Liz Cross, there is another video where we interview the spirit of the German artist known as Fidus, Hugo Hofner. I think that's like within the first 5 or 6 videos on the video list at StarCard Podcast. Okay. So Hugo Hofner was a contemporary of Steiner. Okay. And Hofner went with a different philosophical leader, one who stood apart from Steiner. So now I'm thinking, I don't have to emphasize Rudolf Steiner. I'm already friends with Fidus. I'm down with Hugo Hofner. Okay. So maybe I should go study with Fidus and his leader, who happened to be a female, and leave Steiner behind. I don't know, but the spirit world keeps sending me Steiner as if I'm supposed to be learning stuff about that. Okay. So anyway, yesterday I did break my media fast. And I did listen to 48 minutes while I did those chores. And here's what I wrote on page 10. Okay. I had to unload the dishwasher, cook dinner, and about 8 other things. I was on a media fast, but this video was 48 minutes long. It was about Rosicrucianism. it was the same guy reading the book. Well, might as well. It may help me with my StarCard podcast anyway. You know, just to go along with that Bashar video where we discuss another psychic and content creator on social media, many platforms. She's also discussed in that Bashar video. Her name is Seema Genchi, Genche. Okay, so one of the things that I also comforted myself with is that, you know what, if I listen to this guy read this book, okay, there is no chance of me becoming infatuated, like watching Seema in one of her presentations. So that's like a good thing. All right, let me continue with my prepared notes. Turns out, all right, I've already listened to that video, right? I listened to the Rosicrucians video. Turns out, besides the story of Atlantis and the floods and the symbiosis of vegetation with animal life, one of the things this essay on Rosicrucianism by Rudolf Steiner explained was reincarnation, metempsychosis. This was right up my alley. Reincarnation. There's all kinds of stories about people using reincarnation to pass on inheritances, right? So like, you know, they've accumulated things throughout their lives, and then the community makes sure that when they're ready to pass on and start a new life, that, you know, those things that they possess materially, you know, move on to that baby wherever it's born in the community. There's so many stories like that, okay? And lots of them are not like you know, rustic, forest living, whatever. You know, we're talking about you know, even what we would consider civilized people who are reading books and going to school and living in cities. There's cultures where reincarnation is a practiced thing. Okay, people plan ahead. We don't think about that here in the United States at all. Anyone saying that kind of stuff would seem crazy. And I'm asking you to join me in being crazy. You know what? Just because it's a little bit embarrassing, I don't care. When I leave this mortal plane, I want to plan for when I go upstairs, and I want to make sure I'm ahead of the game. And I'm helping you, I hope, by sharing my ideas with you and making you think about it too. Back to my notes, page 12, reincarnation. There's all kinds of stories about people using reincarnation to pass on inheritances and to carry on vocations or academic pursuits. This is without talking about the hijacked reincarnation process in the secret space program. I'm just talking about natural reincarnation. And I've seen enough to see that when you're in the afterlife, you can upgrade before going into your next life. Besides the fact that you can upgrade in this current life, you can change the electromagnetic frequency of your DNA and command an upgrade in the next life. Why shouldn't you build upon what you already learned in a previous life? Why can't you build upon what you did this time around? What, you're not going to throw it all away just because I'm starting over. I'm not really starting from scratch. I still have a chance to go to the computer, go to the book of life, and flip on some switches, because guess what? The way human beings are growing and changing and evolving, okay, that kind of DNA programming can be activated more simply now, okay? Think about it. Keep it in your mind. When you get to the other side, tell me if I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. Okay. And by the way, before you go to sleep tonight, why don't you invite your spirit guides to take you to the Temple of Healing? You're welcome. Back to my notes. Okay, so why shouldn't you build upon what you already learned in a previous life? Guess what? That's how education works in star systems in the Pleiades. Children remember their previous lives and carry on their vocations. That's a thing, dude. Okay. The narrator of the Rudolf Steiner book on Rosicrucianism explained how you would want to improve your vehicle, right? The body you're in. You would want to improve your vehicle as well as the parameters of the game before incarnating again. You're not just going to, pick up any slop, right? Plan ahead, formulate a plan. I'm not going back until we fix this problem. Okay. No, yeah, sounds good. I don't care. Okay. But I will wait until we address this issue. Okay. This is one of my soul boundaries. All right. Have that in mind. Is it not enough just to say it with your arms folded? Great. Write it down in your notebook. Now you mean business. You wrote it down. Make a contract. Okay, anyway, write your own contract. Don't let them write it. If you could write your own contract, why wouldn't you? That should have been the title of this video. Write your own contract. Blanket, D, asterisk, M, N. Okay. The narrator of the Rudolf Steiner book on Rosicrucianism explained how you would want to improve your vehicle as well as the parameters of the game before incarnating again. It's all DNA programming. Note, even faces resemble ones from previous lives. Yeah. Okay. So now if I'm smart enough to have figured out how to change my DNA in between lives so I don't age so fast, according to the Bashar video, okay, this sounds like me. And it makes me sound like I'm way ahead of a lot of people. Okay? And that was like a big clue I left for myself, that something happened before I got down here, okay? And I'm here to confirm for everybody that you can do it too. Okay. Because according to Psychic List Cross, again, Psychic List Cross appears, playlist, StarCard Podcast. Check the video Target Karma, one of our very first ones. According to Psychic List Cross, I'm someone who's experienced more than 400 lifetimes on planet Earth. So I've had enough of the goes around. Or the go-arounds? Okay. I'm going to check my grammar after the show. Okay. I'm on page 15. Now, of course, if I could figure out age retardation and reincarnation, clearly I have plans and plans for more. Did I not think that there was was I thinking there was like no purpose to my life? Do I like walk around asking, what am I still doing here? What's the purpose? Why tower card my life just to have StarCard Podcast, which I love and is wonderful and is excellent. And it's a dream come true, but I'm not making any money yet. So we'll go as long as we can, everybody. That's what we're going to do. Okay. But anyway, if I can figure that out, then I must have figured out, how to create this opportunity in this part of my life right now. I'm sure I took my own pen to my own book of life. I made some corrections with all my fancy college degrees, and I think I know so much, right? Okay, because it's mine. God is inside me. Okay, I'm not letting someone else drive my car. All right, very good. What else I got here? So I listened. So everybody, hey, how long has it been? Okay, hey everybody, I listened to that thing for 48 minutes yesterday. And then I spent 90 minutes writing all this stuff down, 20 pages. And I asked the question, media fast indeed. Okay, well, is that a media fast? Was I gratuitously listening to media? I transposed that information. I analyzed it and synthesized something from it. I created something from it. What did I create? Just my regular spiel where I try to educate someone who may not know about it, whatever age you are. Okay. Media fast indeed. How's that for digestion? There was nothing else on the plate. Pure flavor. All right. So apparently, I understand now why my media feed kept throwing Rosicrucianism at me. It makes me wonder if in a previous life, I came upon that same realization and started scripting what's going on next, trying to jump ahead in the game. That would be just like me to try to skip a grade. Page 16, we're almost there. I never needed to learn about Rosicrucianism in this lifetime. Right? It turns out I most assuredly practiced it in a previous life. Just like I remain comfortable in my culture of Roman Catholicism in this life, there's a good chance I've had more than one life in the Church of Latter-day Saints. And of all the religions and philosophies I've studied, somehow until recently, I never came across Theosophy or Hermeticism or Hermes Trismegistus. I've just now heard about these guys. I'm just now catching on, and it's been almost 60 years. How did, like, of all the things I studied, I never learned about those guys? Okay, maybe there was a delay. Like, it wasn't supposed to be just like something I left off with Democritus and the ancient Greeks and the skeptics and the cynics and all the other ones we studied from long ago. And you know what? I was supposed to pay attention to it now, right? So I can make this video. Page 17, that's the number of the star card. So, hey, now that I see what's going on, okay, you guys keep bombarding me. I'm talking to my spirit guides right now, my spirit guides, my higher self, okay? You guys keep bombarding me through my scroll, my feeds, okay? My particularly YouTube, that's pretty much the only place I go. I check in on Typical Skeptic Podcast. My one tarot reader who puts out one 15, 12-minute video a week. Pretty much nothing else. And then I check out StarCard Podcast, see how many likes I get. So anyway, here I go. I'm going to talk to my spirit guides right now. All right. I really feel like I've learned enough about different philosophies and religions. So here's my warning. I'm asking for some help here from my spirit guides. You know what? I know all I want to know about Dianetics and L. Ron Hubbard. I don't need you guys to throw any of that my way. Okay. No Dianetics, no L. Ron Hubbard, please. All right. I want my spirit guides and angels to keep that stuff away from me. Okay. I'll study the Gnostics, Gnostics. I'll study Gnosticism. Okay. I'll study that instead. All right. Is that a deal? I mean it. I don't need to know about that guy and that other stuff. I'll study the Gnostics. Thank you, spirit world. All right. Am I almost done here? Let me check and see. Oh, wow. I had all these anticipatory sets. Good. That's where they went. They were at the bottom of the pile. So now I'm going to talk less about the video, okay, and talk about some other ideas. So the run up to this show today, the last couple of shows, I've been inviting everyone to recommandeer your own soul, your own spirit, your own consciousness. And I've been encouraging people for at least a week to go on a media fast so that the cosmic information permeating down to us from the sky is, doesn't have to fight the barrier of the media that's clouding your brain. Clear the table. If you're, if you want to enjoy the main course the way you should, get your homework off the table, get your toys off the table. Come on, we're trying to have dinner here. Okay. So, one of the ways you would do that is you have to have a display, to have a reflection of what's going on in your mind and in your life, okay, and how you feel. And I'm encouraging everyone to get out a notebook or a diary or a journal and start writing. That's something I've done for almost all my life. So I'm not telling people to do things that I haven't done before, okay? I'm practicing what I preach, and I feel like it's an even worthier admonition that we should all do this, because in today's society, it's just so easy just to, screen away and web surf and, and speak into a microphone. That's great. These are great advantages, great technological advantages, but there's the disadvantages of, well, let's not get into the pros and cons of that part right now. So let's get back down to my notes here and see what I have to say. Well, okay. So all the stuff that I've been telling you, by the way, all the stuff that I've been inviting the StarCard podcast viewer to do, reflecting, thinking about what you're doing, examining your thoughts, monitoring your thoughts all day long, knowing what you're thinking. It's all Rosicrucianism. It's all Rosicrucianism. It's a way to identify the rose that's over your cross. I love that image. It's the way to identify your electromagnetic entity, okay, the way it is overlaid upon your physical vehicle. And there you are. I'm going to now have to like make a playlist of, Breakaway Ray reveals to himself that he's a Rosicrucianism. It doesn't mean anything except that it means like I'm clever enough in the afterlife not to mess around, not to waste my time, and not to listen to people who are going to misdirect me. So I kind of like want to know what happened there. I want to know what happened. Okay. And they know I want to know what happened because I'm asking all the time. So let me make sure I got all these notes taken care of, everybody. Okay. So, so the first one, I'm talking about, there's a portal. Sure. Your heart is a portal. Okay. And one way to access it is to put your mind in the correct frame of mind or get the correct brain wave going. The kind of brain wave you get when you're in the groove, when you're jogging, or when you're in the groove dancing or writing or painting or taking photos, okay, or doing something you like to do or driving, okay? So when your mind is open like that, which is not hard to do, okay, you're able to make upgrades. And we learned that if you've read all Dolores Cannon books, that's her whole deal. She puts people in a trance, and then she has a conversation with her higher self, and they're all, can we solve this problem? And they're all, yeah, actually we can. It's not too hard, okay? So there's like a quantum upgrade with Dolores Cannon's help. Dolores Cannon, the famous hypnotherapist, QHHT hypnotherapy, okay? That's a quantum upgrade. I just realized the Q is for quantum, exactly, okay? That's a quantum upgrade right there, Dolores Cannon style. You could do it yourself. You can self-hypnotize. Okay. The only reason why we don't is because people don't tell us we can't. This is like basic being a human 101. This is the operating system. Why are you, if you had a car, would you just leave it in the driveway? Okay. Maybe put your lawn lights flashing on the car, show off how good it looks. Okay. You could go places in the car, everybody. All right. And if you don't do anything, you're letting other people fill your mind so that you are not taking control of your own situation, your real life and your real spirit and whatever you're here to do. Look at me talking like I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So, So anyway, I want to tell you about Jeffrey Mishlove. You can look him up, Mishlove. He has a podcast called New Thinking Aloud. Jeffrey Mishlove shares this story about how when he was in college, I think, he and his friends would like hypnotize each other. Right? Does that sound safe? Like, young men in college hypnotizing each other? Well, Mr. Mishlove has ethics. They weren't doing anything terrible or whatever. Okay, this is like a happy story, and I really enjoy watching Jeffrey Mishlove. He's a real calming, cheerful presence, and he's filled with information. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Mishlove. That's a funny anecdote he shared. Okay, I have an anecdote that's not so funny. All right, it's just another anecdote to show how prone our minds are. Okay. So I won't tell this one yet. I got Dolores Cannon story. I was reading a Dolores Cannon book. Can't tell you which one. There's 5 Convoluted Universe books. Okay. There's one Convoluted Autobiography book. That's my book. I'm also R. Snow, author of the Convoluted Autobiography. It's linked in the description. So anyway, there's this episode in a Dolores Cannon book where she has 2 people with her. Check this out. This is funny. There's 2 people with her. One of them is someone Dolores Cannon has already been hypnotizing. Dolores Cannon, when she hypnotizes people, she gives them a code word, that just puts them under so that she doesn't have to do the long process of drawing them into their relaxed state. Okay. She leaves a post-hypnotic suggestion the first time she goes in. So that the second time, if they have a second time, okay, she could just use that word. It's a word only she knows. Okay. She doesn't put it in the book. Okay. And then it knocks that person out. All right. So anyway, it's a great story. Sorry. I apologize. One moment, please. There it is. Timeout. One of my 3 timeouts, everybody. She's with 2 people. Sometimes she has to travel and go to another city, and they get a motel room or a hotel room, and that's where she might meet with someone, like in the sitting area. Or actually, since the hotel room has a bed, sometimes someone will just lay on the bed and Dolores will do her deal. So anyway, she's with two people. One's going to be a witness and the other one's going to be the subject. But one of the witnesses is someone that she's already put under before. And then there's two beds in the room and both people, one's sitting on the bed, one's laying on the bed. And she goes ahead and puts the one subject under who's already laying down, but she says the word that knocks out the other guy. And now she's got two hypnotized subjects. And she's only got like so much time, right? It's an appointment. It's a booked appointment time. And she's got to like turn on the cassette recorder and make a recording, for the subject and also for later on when she types out the transcript. And I know what she does. And, she puts it in her book. So anyway, she sees that the one guy got knocked out and he's like all crooked on the bed. So she gets up and she drags the guy by his shoulders and lays him on the bed so he's comfortable and he's, not in an awkward position. And then while she conducts the ceremony, did I say ceremony? While she conducts the hypnosis session, she's speaking to, maybe it was source or some higher entity or whatever. But the thing is, one person would start the sentence and the other person would complete the sentence. And it would be the same spirit speaking. It happened several times. Is that spooky? Right? The same brain operating two different bodies, starting a sentence with one and finishing it over there. Okay. This is the magic that we're all like ignoring while we're sitting on the couch waiting for the commercials to finish. Okay. Now, here's a story that also shows how vulnerable we are. And it's not a happy story. I realize everyone watching this has to be 18 years old or older. You are an adult. And this is adult material. And I'm very sorry. I'm going to do my best to couch it in a polite way. So there's a family, and I learned about this family from a guest on the Imagination podcast with Emma. You can look it up. Emma has people on her show who have experienced satanic ritual abuse. So this particular guest on Emma's show, the Imagination podcast, was talking about her childhood when she was maybe even a toddler, certainly very young in elementary school. And she had a couple of older brothers, okay? And they were part of a family that practiced this stuff and that did involve hypnosis, putting all the children into trances. In fact, unfortunately, the older brothers found out what the code word was to put their little sister to sleep. I kind of want to stop the story right there. But they would do that on a regular basis. And, you would think like the parents would be upset about it, but that was the experience of this poor girl throughout her life in that kind of family. Again, do you want your mind to be vulnerable like that? Don't you want to know what your mind is all about? Don't you want to protect it? Okay. All right. I got another idea to think about. There's a man, all I can say for sure is that his last name is Beltran, but he talks about Havana syndrome. And Havana syndrome involves using microwaves and frequencies to manipulate and affect people, their health and their mind, and the way they behave. Okay, this stuff is out there. Of course they don't want you to know about it. It may have been more common knowledge about a century ago, and they had to extinguish that knowledge. Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. I'm Breakaway Ray. I'm here to bring it back. I'm happy to tell you about it. Okay, how about this? You guys all old enough to remember the very first Iraq War from George H.W. Bush in 1990? Okay, what happened? The Iraqi soldiers all laid down their arms at the same time. So the story goes. Is this a real story? Okay, all the Iraqi soldiers laid down their arms. Voice to skull technology. Okay. Of course they don't want you to know about it. They intend to use it on you. All right. So those are all things to consider. Why be a Rosicrucian? What else is there to be, in a way? It's like being a Buddhist. Okay, just because you adopt Buddhist ideas or Rosicrucian ideas, it doesn't mean that you have to abandon and forsake your original faith. This is all science. It's all the Buddhism and the Rosicrucianism. It's science. People understand this. How do you think they're hijacking souls for the secret space program? Yeah, they can clone. Okay, let me see if I got everything covered on this. Right, got all those. All right, everybody. I think I'm almost ready for the tarot world to chime in on my long exposition on Rosicrucianism, etc. Okay, and my media fast. Am I still master of my domain? Does it count? Okay, you have to check a Seinfeld episode for that dynamic I'm talking about here. Okay, but anyway, here's the last part of my notes, I think. Okay, so I'm inviting everyone, we need to recommandeer our own portal, our own astral and spiritual life. Okay, we're literally turning inward to find the answers. We're integrating the spirit world into our lives. Okay, I've been sprouting Rosicrucianism the last couple of days and this whole time. So evidently, I don't need to study Rosicrucianism. I'm remembering it from a previous life, Pleiadian style. Oh, Pleiadians. You win again, Pleiadians. All right, so now let's go to the tarot world. We're going to invite the tarot world to talk about, here we go. We're going to talk about quantum shifting in this lifetime. Okay, that's what most of us care about right now. It's urgent and important and necessary right now. I really can't worry about my next life. Nevertheless, why not, put it on the back burner? I want to design my next life. Okay. I want to outline my parameters, my soul boundaries. Okay. And then we'll start off with these two. Is Breakaway Ray a Rosicrucian? And also, what's a Rosicrucian? Because those are fun ones. Then it'll be time for tarot for the audience. Look at me go. 70 minutes. Well, 67 minutes, huh? All right, attaboy. You can take a nice nap later, Breakaway Ray. I think I get paid overtime for this. Come on, who's paying for my prep period? Okay. One moment, something's on the ground here. Ooh. So I'm going to take out the Light Seers Tarot, to have fun with am I a Rosicrucian and what is a Rosicrucian? Let's go downstairs. See, I'm progressing in my own awareness and consciousness of my own spirit in a different way than I learned while at Catholic school, St. Benedict's in Amherst, New York. That's outside Buffalo, New York. And I'm sharing it with a bunch of strangers on the internet and making a video about it. And then maybe other people will reflect on their spiritual journeys and say, well, Breakaway Ray may have made it easy for me. I go right to, I get to ride on his advancements, because a lot of the things he talks about were not in my vocabulary to begin with. All right, here we go, Tarot World. Hey, am I a Rosicrucian? And also, what's a Rosicrucian? Let's see what the Tarot World has to say with this fancy Light Seers deck. Gonna have some fun now. That's right. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you watching this video. Hope you're having a good time. Whoa. I'm gonna put those right there. I think that's like the final message. But I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, if you're ready. Okay, is Breakaway Ray a Rosicrucian? Also, what's a Rosicrucian? Is Breakaway Ray a Rosicrucian? Also, what's a Rosicrucian? This is for entertainment purposes only. Here we go. I think we're actually going to start with these. These guys jumped out first. We're really throwing tarot here. Wow, the Ace of Wands and the King of Swords. Okay. I'm laughing really hard because the tarot world is like really taken over. Well done. This is a real tarot throw. The King of Swords is like a cartoon character to me, a guy who says, okay, I'm here to tell you, okay, with the Ace of Wands, what the magic is all about. I'm here to tell you what the magic's all about, Breakaway Ray. Okay. I've tapped into whatever this energy is. Okay. Am I a Rosicrucian? The Tower card. Surprise! You figured it out. And the King of Pentacles. Yeah, you plan for all the riches and lots of departments. Okay. It was all part of your master plan. You planned it all out. It was after dinner. You were enjoying a cigar and a snifter of brandy in your library in front of the fireplace with Fidus. My dog, Fidus, my loyal friend. You guys having fun yet? Am I a Rosicrucian? Surprise, you planned it all. Hope you're having a good time, said the Knight of Wands. You're doing a good job singing your song for the audience. And the Ten of Swords says, the hard times are over. I think that has something to do with, I'll come upstairs for this part. So there's a content creator called Margot Elise Miller, and she shares information about old souls and how they're smart enough. Again, we're talking about people who are smart in the life between lives, planning their lives out. Old souls are smart enough to upfront all of their karma, right? They go through all their trials and tribulations in the front part of their life. So the last part of their life isn't like, filled with garbage or whatever and challenges. Okay. So this is the 10 of Swords card. And it says it's the end of your, it's the end of all the hard times, Breakaway Ray. Okay. You know what? Surprise, you figured it out. I hope you're having a good time. You planned it all out. And the hard times, the hard part is over. Okay. Because you're a Rosicrucian. You figured it out. It's almost 60. You're almost 60. Time's up with all that. You processed all your karma. Right? How many times have we heard that? I guess not enough. I need to hear it more. All right. So back downstairs. Hey, also, what's a Rosicrucian? What does that mean? Am I a Rosicrucian? 8 of Cups. I know how to walk away. Look at both of these cards are characters walking away. Okay. So 8 of Cups. Yeah, I know how to walk away from this lifetime. And look at how bright the next lifetime is going to be for me. I'm the Queen of Wands because, first of all, I'm a mystic and I know that there's a spirit world. And I also know that every day I have that is precious. I need to carpe diem. I need to enjoy life. I need to seize the day. Because the Fool card says every day is a new adventure. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, everybody. And the 2 of Cups says, this is a message from the spirit world. Are you listening? This is a Rosicrucian transmission on STARCARD podcast. That turned out to be way cooler than I thought it was going to be. That's usually the case, huh? Thank you very much, Tarot World. I'm going to give these cards a shuffle. That's right. And we'll go to the next 2. So I see a comment in the chat. Whose reading are we on? We have not started tarot for the audience yet, but we will right after we address these 2. Thanks for being patient. I know it's a long show. I'm sorry. Hey, Tarot World, that was awesome. And now, if you please, let's talk about quantum shifting in this life, self-hypnosis, self-programming. You can find information on this, everybody. I'm not the only one who knows this stuff. Okay. And then designing your next life. I think Rob Khalil actually had someone on the Typical Skeptic podcast who talked about this. I didn't actually watch that podcast. Media fast. All right, I'm going to give these one more shuffle. Invite the Tarot World to comment on these subjects. Thanks, Tarot World, for putting together this nice show. I can tell by the chat that a lot of people are having fun watching. Quantum shifting versus designing your next life. Will the Tarot World care to comment? People are curious. They want to know. Here we go. Quantum shifting versus designing your next life. That was outstanding before. Oh, we could take one more over here, please. Thanks. So you want a quantum shift in this life, you can do it, and you can do it faster if you access your subconscious. 3 of Pentacles. Try something new. Build up your relationship with your spirit guides. Connect with your higher self. Death and rebirth and transformation. This is a way to transform your life. It starts from inside your mind. The 4 of Cups. Why don't you get out a notebook and write down all the things that are going on in your mind? And then start with gratitude for all the things the universe sends you. You agreed to this contract when you came down. I'm going to say in general. And so the 8 of Swords says it's all as much as you can imagine. That's right. You can quantum shift in this reality as much as you can imagine. You can work with the spirit world to reevaluate things and improve upon things even as much as you can imagine. It's all up to your imagination. Hey, Breakaway Ray, use your imagination. That's like being a kid. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, and now, can we design our next life? Can we set up ideas firmly in our mind and believe in them so strongly that when we leave our vehicle behind and our spirit ascends to the spirit world in search of a new vehicle and a new life, okay, we could say, you know what, I'm not going in there until you got this, 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 and this, okay? When you negotiate, like if you're fortunate enough to like be able to buy a house or even buy a car, okay, you know what, before you sign that contract, you say, I want these upgrades before I sign a deal, okay? All right, so can you design your next life? Isn't it a good idea? This is not just like throwaway time. All of our lives are connected. We're all part of the wheel of samsara. The strength card. Can you design your next life? It says that we have the power to influence it. We can persuade our spirit guides to cooperate with us on these things. We have to know what it is we care about first. Okay. So the Knight of Pentacles says, if you want someone to be a good custodian of your life, how about you be a good custodian of your life? Why don't you be responsible for your soul? Why don't you be responsible for your spirit? Why don't you come up with your own ideas? Listen to others, find out what you think and how you feel. Okay? Yay, it's the King of Swords. He's saying, I'm here to tell you, have mental clarity, be the authority. Look at that. And the same card showed up, the Ace of Wands. I did all those cards random. I didn't pull these cards out together. Okay. Can you design your next life? If you work at it really hard, the truth is you can make that magic happen. How is that not much easier? If you work at it really hard, yes, you can absolutely make that happen. Hey, remember me? I was telling you about where the magic's at. It's all in your pineal gland, in your mind, and in your heart. Okay. And if you want to confirm those boundaries before you pass away, write them down in a book, okay? Put them in a song so it becomes part of your vibration. That's how you change your DNA. All right. Thank you very much, Tarot World. That's quite an education. And yay. Is it finally tarot for the audience? I was going to raise my hand and ask if I could go to the bathroom, but I'm going to stay. Okay. I'm going to give these cards a toss. Thank you, Tarot World. Wow, we got quite a nice group watching the show right now. Gee, and it's so early. Thanks for joining me so early. Wow. I think my life would have been so different if when I was growing up and I was up all hours of the night. I had someone to talk to, and now look, you people are a dream come true. I could talk to you anytime. Well, there's a little Nine of Pentacles involved there, everybody. Little Nine of Pentacles, some Three of Pentacles. How about it? How about some Three of Cups? Let's all celebrate. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go into the chat now. I'm going to say hi to people who are here. And then I'm going to find name tags. And if you're new and you don't have a name tag, I'm going to make you a name tag. I'm looking for capital letters. It helps me to find out who wants a tarot reading or who has a special request. But anyway, let's jump into the chat now and say hi to some people. Do I see Judy, Mrs. NW5 out there? Hi, Judy. I think I saw Lisa Talcott out there. Hi, Lisa Talcott. Hi, Namira. I happen to see also your query for the tarot world about the young member in your family. Very good. Let's see. Let's scroll up. Miss Shawn is here. Hey, long time no see, Miss Shawn. Welcome back. Nice capital letters, Nishan. Thank you. Arizona Raven's here. Good morning, Arizona Raven. Kimberly Bamford. All right, Kimberly. Sweet. Let's go, Kimberly. Woo. Art Life. Welcome back, Art Life. I want to remind everybody that I don't read the chat during the show. I'm going to read it after the show. I'm mostly looking for capital letters right now. So I realize I should say thank you in advance. I'm going to say thank you in advance to you, the participating viewer. Obviously, in the United States, you don't talk about politics and religion. I want to thank everyone for being diplomatic and patient as I exhausted my ideas. Okay, I meant no offense to anyone. Well, nevertheless, having said that, let's move on and see if there's anyone else I left out. Oh, yes, Pearl James. Hey, Pearl, I still have your apple. Welcome back to the show. Sure, we're going to throw some cards for you. There we go. Someone gave me an Italian flag. Hey, Derek. Welcome back, Derek. Thanks for joining me. Woo Riders. And Salama way at the top of the chat. Hey, Salama. Thank you very much. So I don't remember which one you're talking about when you say Oracle deck, Salama. I think you mean the Lightseers deck, the one that I just used. So, I mean, anybody can correct me. I had a lot to say. Maybe I'm blanking on something if you want to help me in, Salama, but I'll go ahead and throw the Lightseers for you unless, I actually remember I have an Oracle deck. And I'm going to go get the name tags now. I just drew the line. And that's a boundary for me in case anyone comes in after the line. It's up to me whether or not I can throw some cards for you. But if you checked in above the line, I'm guaranteeing you a reading. And we're going to go forward from there. I hate to I hate to leave anybody out. So even if someone doesn't come in after the line, I probably want to throw cards for you, right? But let's get the name tags out. All right, very good. Very good, Salama. I saw your message. All right, everything's cool. I've got schoolhouses, got cats and apples, a couple of shamrocks. Okay. Art Life, right there, and Arizona Raven. You two would be sitting like one in front of the other in the classroom alphabetically. Kimberly Bamford. Namira. Derek Woo Riders. So Slavka is not in the chat right now, as far as I can tell, everybody. But I would like to invite everybody to go check out Slavka, the Natural Sentient. If you go to the posts section at StarCard Podcast, you'll see that a couple of posts ago, like 2 days ago, I posted a link to an interview I did with Slavka, and Kimberly Bamford was there too, I think. And we threw some cards and we talked for about 2 hours. So in case you haven't seen Slavka's channel and you can't get enough Breakaway Ray, go check out her channel. Thanks a lot, Slavka. That was pretty cool. All right. So I got the schoolhouses done. Let me go through the pile of name tags with the other guys, with the cats and the apples and stuff. So I'm hey everybody. This is crazy. I know it's summer vacation. I want you to think about, I realize I'm inviting you to get out a notebook. I'm inviting you to get out a notebook and do the work on your own. That's just an invitation. You do what you want. Okay. And I know you know that even though there's a Stripe donation button at StarCard Podcast, I rarely mention it. Okay. Because that's not where I'm going to be building my fortune, but that does not mean your donation's not important and helpful. And I appreciate it so much. But here's the thing. I'm going to be a little bit of a teacher right now. I realize I'm getting good feedback from the group, and we have a nice group of people participating. I'm asking if people in the chat participating right now would care to mention something that they learned or something that they thought was beneficial from my presentation today. I'm asking because it took quite a while to put together, and there were a lot of thoughts that were challenging even for me to consider. So I don't know how the listener responds, especially to today's presentation. So I do invite you, as long as you're sitting there by your computer, that's right. I want to check your work. So I invite you to put a message in the chat. I know I'm all about applause, and I don't handle constructive criticism well. So thanks for being diplomatic. All right. And a lot of love to you guys. Thanks for doing that little extra assignment during summer vacation. Let's get the rest of the name tags out here. Nashawn is in here. I think I still have his shamrocks. There's Judy. There's Pearl. There's Salama. I'm saying hi to God's Flow. Hi, God's Flow. I know she's not here today yet. Let's see what else we got. We're going to go reverse alphabetical. Nishan. We're going to double down. Okay. And I got some cats. I think there might be a cat in here. Oh, yeah, Lisa Talcott. There you go, Lisa. So I see a familiar name. Hello, level number 9. I'm happy to see you again. I'm going to go ahead and make you a name tag and throw some cards for you. One moment, please. Gonna make you a cat. That's good because cats have 9 lives, level number 9. That's good mojo, level number 9. I'm glad you showed up. Clearly, there's a message waiting for you. And that's a good thing that we have it on video in case you need to go outside and, go down to the kitchen, fix some coffee or whatever. Okay, let me write down your name here. There you go. All right, everybody. I think I'm ready to start throwing. Oh, no, I'm not. I got to go back up. I got to go back through the chat and double check for requests and things. I know about Namira's request. Salama's is at the top, so I'm going to go check that out first. And I'm going to scan through and see who else has a particular request so I don't miss any. Oh, Kate O'Sullivan is here. Hey, Kate O'Sullivan. Thank you very much. So Kate O'Sullivan just set a very good example, responding appropriately to what the teacher invited everyone to do. Kate O'Sullivan, I appreciate that very much. Hey, I didn't see you above the line, but I would love to get out your name tag and throw some cards for you. Would you like to confirm that you'd like a reading? I don't want to read for you if you don't want one, but I'm going to go look for your name tag, give you a chance to type. Yeah, very good, Kate. I'll go get your name tag. I think you have a schoolhouse because I think I just saw it. Yeah, the only thing that's missing right now is a cameo appearance in the chat by Psychic Liz Cross. That would just be the icing on the cake today. That's all right. I mean, she might be sleeping because it's really early. It's Saturday morning. School just got out. She must be, exhausted after all those school ceremonies or whatever. All right. Okay, everybody, I think I'm ready to go. Oh, wait, no, I'm not ready to go. I got to look at the chat one more time. Oh, Art Life made it easy. 1 card. Thanks for the capital letters, Art. 1 card. Good capital letters, Art Life. Thank you. Okay, I think I got it. I'm going to start with Art Life. Here we go. And then we'll take care of the people with particular requests, Salama and Namira. And then it'll be general readings for the balance of the group, unless you put a particular request in the chat like now. I mean, I'll keep up by looking at the bottom of the chat. We got lots of friends in the chat who help me out. So hang on, everybody. Where did that one go? There we go. I'm going downstairs. Art Life 1 card. Let's go. Yeah, you know what? This deck is a star right now. We're going to go with the Lightseers deck again. Hey, Terra World, can you show 1 card for our friend Art Life, please? That would be pretty cool. 1 card for Art Life. the Queen of Swords. Art Life, you were right. Was there something on your mind? Did something seem confused? Someone try to gaslight you? Psh, you were right. Thank you, Art Life. I appreciate your participation and your support. Thanks for being a subscriber for a long time. Thank you, Tarot World. That was pretty cool. I love the Queen of Swords when she shows up. All right, cool, Art Life. Thanks for that comment. That helps out a lot. Okay, so now, I mean, yeah, that's really cool, Art. Anyway, let's find out where Salama had one at the top. This will be easy for me to check again. All right, good. Oh, wait, someone had a Robin Wood request. Who is that? Oh, Pearl. Pearl, did I get your apple? Yeah, I did. And you want the Robin Wood deck. Okay, I almost missed that. There we go. All right, please stand by. First up, let's go Salama. Oh, whoops. Hey, Tarot World. You're really building bridges with people in the StarCard podcast audience. These people like you a lot. Thanks for delivering helpful messages. All right, let's go right to the continent of Africa. Way to go, Team Africa. Tarot World, you have a message for Salama, please. She's really paying attention. Thank you, Tarot World. These cards are for Salama. Okay. Good. Great. Whatever you got to say. Thank you for helping Salama. Okay. Very good, Salama. This is for entertainment purposes only, but tarot cards always give us something to think about, right? A prism through a positive prism, a constructive prism through which to view the events of our lives. Here we go. How nice. We have the Ace of Swords and the Five of Cups. Your spirit guides might be sympathizing and empathizing. The Five of Cups is the disappointment card, and the Ace of Swords is saying that's the real truth. A disappointment is being acknowledged. I mean, it's hard not to acknowledge it. Okay. Nevertheless, here is the Chariot card exhorting us to move forward and keep going, because the Seven of Swords says eventually something's going to be revealed. And I'd like to point out the light from the moon, okay, because something's going to be revealed, and whatever it is that, you know, the spirit world's going to send us, it's going to be in connection with the spirit world represented by the moonlight. You have access to that. You have access to that. Ace of Wands. Okay. And, you know, this is for entertainment purposes only, but why not, you know, go into a little self-delusion, mind over matter, you know, start swallowing and inhaling strategies and methods of manifestation and how people have done it and proven it, and see how it works in ancient societies and how they say it works in off-world societies. But you can do it. And we were just talking about researching, right? Learning ways to do it. The stairway to the stars is what you're on right now. It's the Hierophant. You know, everything you learn brings you closer to whatever that light is you're heading toward. I don't know why it feels like you're not heading toward that light. I hope we're not like, I mean, it's hard not to be wrapped up in a 3D. You got, you know, you have responsibilities to take care of, and it involves having a job. It's, you know, it's almost like a detriment to everybody else not to have Salama helping you do the job in the first place. Maybe, again, we have to go inward. Are we still pursuing something that doesn't work anymore, either in this world or for Salama in her growth, in her expansion as a soul? Wow. The Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune talks about luck, okay, but it also talks about timelines, okay, like a personal timeline. And look at this joyous, happy Four of Wands card. The Four of Wands card is a celebration and a homecoming. Okay, you're watching StarCard Podcast, Salama, and I talk about space aliens, all right? But this sounds like your spirit family, your soul family, your cosmic family saying it's time for you to come home. It's time to, you lived your life in a certain way for a certain part of your life, and now it's time to try something else. Ego death is not fun. Have the box of tissues ready. We're glad that we're all here rooting you on, and we can offer you some kind of comfort and friendship and companionship during your disappointing time. But this is not forever. This is getting to be just like a beginning. You're coming in closer. This whole business where you're listening to some stranger on the internet read tarot cards, you're aiming toward the spirit world perhaps more than you did in the past. And congratulations. Get out the notebook. They probably have a message for you. Thank you, Salama, for inviting me to read. I hope I did not get carried away. I appreciate your comment in the chat. You're very welcome. All right. Cool. I'm going to give these a toss. Thank you very much, Tarot World. I know you and Salama know what's going on. I'm trying my best to be translator. Thanks a lot. Okay. What do we got? Hey, Pearl. Let's throw some Robin Wood cards. Thanks for inviting me to read, Pearl. Good request. Old school, old-fashioned Robin Wood. All right, Tarot World. Pearl's back for more. Let's share a message for her, please. While my brainstem is all fired up, I'm happy to share the messages. These cards are for Pearl. These cards are for Pearl. Thanks for tuning in, Pearl. Here comes a message. Whoa. Okay. Here we go. Eight of Pentacles. It's a picture of someone working very hard, day in, day out, giving it their, undivided attention and advancing and getting better at it over a long period of time. Kind of like someone advancing through a martial arts program or learning to play a new song on the piano. Wow. Or maybe you're writing a scary story, a novel, tantamount to one written by Stephen King, because here we have the Ten of Swords and the Moon card. Okay. The Ten of Swords says it's the end of a painful episode. And the Moon card talks about mystery, illusion, and the subconscious. I'm not totally clear on what's going on yet. Wow. Here's the Knight of Cups. A short story. The Knight of Cups is the knight in shining armor. And here's the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords represents a crossroads or a decision. So here you were, you kept your nose to the grindstone, you kept on working at it, and then eventually you got past some distractions and some struggles and challenges, and you had a chance to collect yourself, and now all of a sudden you're feeling empowered in a way you hadn't before, okay? And now you're at a crossroads, because now you have plateaued higher up. And so now there are more ways to go, and you don't have all the information. You still have not scanned from side to side in the panorama from this new place where you have ascended, Pearl. Wow. So it's time to take a look around, says the Hermit, and the Wheel of Fortune. Again, talking about time. It's a juncture in your life where it's time to turn inward. If you want to get more information about what you should do now that you're feeling empowered with all these tough times behind you. Are you another person maybe who upfronted your karma? You got it out of the way? Are you still a little shell-shocked like I am? Okay, it's all over, but, it's easy to get triggered. Is someone throwing a tantrum? I'm going to go run and hide. Anyway, that's just me, Pearl. I hope that was a fun reading for you. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. Beautiful cards. Let's give these a toss. Way to go, Tarot World. Wow. It's been such a long show. I'm so pleased and honored to have so many people still tuned in. A dedicated audience here. So, Namira, I'm going to scan up and reread your comment. Okay, anticipating your son's next move. Let's stick with this deck. Namira wants to know her son's next move, please. Really? Okay. We're going to throw two piles, what his next move is going to be and what his next move should be. So we can both play parents who feel like we know better, even though he's a young adult. Okay, so we'll throw two piles. What's Namira's son going to do? And what should he do? We're all just having fun. This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, all right. What should he do? What's he gonna do? All right, Namira, thanks for the fun reading. Well, what's he gonna do? He's all finished, says the World card. Wow, he's all finished. He's gonna go with what he's good at. Something probably along lines of anything he's familiar with. He's going to go with what he's familiar with. He's going to swap out, the World card and the Judgment card. We're swapping out the old for a new. We're not staying there. The Death card, we're changing. Okay, he's not staying in that job. What's he going to do? He's not staying. There's a change. He's done. Okay, what should he do? What should he do? Take stock of all of his resources, take stock of all of his opportunities, probably write them out, make a chart, make a flow chart. Also, you got to have a 5-year plan. I realize the world is moving very fast, but someone, even he's a young adult, every adult needs to have a 5-year plan. Okay. And you know what else I'd say? I mean, I'm not his dad. I'm not even related. I'm a total stranger, but you always have to have a second job. Come on, let's face it. You got to have a second income. You got to always have something on the back burner. Okay. You got to make the fact that someone can fire you irrelevant. That's what my very first school principal told me in 1990. Always make it so that, if they fire you, it doesn't matter. Right. So you got to have something on the back burner. And that means sucking it up. You're a young man. Okay. Now's the time to suck it up. You're not going to want to suck it up when you get older. Work hard now and get that karma out of the way to make it easier when you get older. So what should he do? You should probably listen to this video and hear what some crazy American has to say. Okay. And the Temperance says, be cool. Okay. Be balanced. Let's not go rushing off on some escapade and think, let's get inspired about some crazy adventure or get rich quick scheme. It's not going to work. You got to stay balanced. Be real about what's going on. More admonishment. Wow. So the 8 of Swords card says, as much as you can imagine, And the King of Wands says, it's the big picture. So, I mean, even the tarot world is chiming in here. As much as you can imagine, young man, you need to take stock and be real of what's going on. And you need to be cool because you got a long way to go. Wow, Namira. Thanks for that creative invitation. It sure feels like you got a message out of it. I appreciate your feedback as well. You know, wow, you're a special parent too. I mean, look at that. I just pulled the Queen of Pentacles for you. It just flew out for you. The responsible parent, the Queen of Pentacles. You know, here you are, you have a son. He's an adult, and you're connecting with someone in California. I want to help my kid. Oh, so wonderful. Lots of people can identify with you there. Okay, I hope I got all the requests for particular readings. Kate O'Sullivan, let's throw some cards for you. You're welcome, Namira. Yeah, that's right, Namira. I agree. Thank you for your comments in the chat. Hey, Kate O'Sullivan, thanks for tuning in. Let's get you some cards. Here we go. These cards for Kate O'Sullivan. There, you can have those. Kate O'Sullivan, thanks for tuning in to StarCard. Wow. That's really something to have people come back after such a long time and over again. Wow, look at you get some cards. Don't worry about this guy. What do you got, a migraine, buddy? Come on. All right. This is for entertainment purposes only, Kate O'Sullivan. What's going on with these guys? Oh, unusual layout here. So you have the Five of Swords, which has several different meanings. One is like abuse and winner-take-all attitude, but you can convert it into a different version of that where you say, you know, in order to achieve in life, you have to want to win. So looking at it next to the Death and New Beginnings card, okay, you know, you have to want to win to make the change happen. You have to want to win to make the change happen. So if you're really going to win, you know, what does that environment look like? You know, what outfit are you wearing if you're really winning? Okay. I remember that Tiger Woods would always wear a red shirt on a Sunday, you know, because his plan was to win on Sunday, and that was going to be his victory color or whatever. All right. So here we go. Let's see the rest of your reading, Kate O'Sullivan. Look, we just turned it upside down because we changed it. Okay. And now everything's grooving. You're going to feel better, buddy. All right. Here we go, Kate O'Sullivan. Yay, the Two of Cups. Your spirit guides are totally talking to you here. This is like a 20th century operator calling you up. It's a collect call from the spirit world. Will you accept the charges? Yes, we will. We want to hear what Kate's spirit guides have to say. Here comes your message. The Chariot, you're making progress. So, and you're doing a good job too, corralling both of those horses to go in the correct direction. Are you good at herding cats? Are you a parent, Kate, and you have more than one kid or a kid with several activities? You have a schedule to manage? Way to keep things going. You have the Hierophant and the Queen of Pentacles. Well, you know what? They came out like this, so let's play it like that. So the Queen of Pentacles is a responsible parent, and the Hierophant is the learned person and also represents social acceptance. I wonder if this is another one of those yin and yang. We turn these cards over. Don't forget, if you do it like this, you know, don't forget that everything you learned doesn't beat how you care for people in your family and in your life. All your fancy learning doesn't beat your big heart. At the same time, you can be sensible. You know, if you put these two cards together, you basically have the King of Cups. You can be sensible and even stow your own emotion aside for a moment if you see, you know, what needs to get done where other people may not have your experience and understanding. I'm going to put them both like this because you're winning both ways, okay? But very clever. I want to compliment your spirit guides on the clever spinning message. That's really interesting. I think that's like one of the first times I've seen that happen. Okay, so here you go. Ace of Pentacles, a brand new opportunity brought to you by the universe. All right, Kate O'Sullivan, here comes your message. Keep going. You're learning so much, and you're still, being the practical, sensible parent. You ought to see 2 pentacles because you're juggling 2 worlds in a way. Not everyone sees, this path, this ascension staircase that you're on. Okay, that's on the inside. Meanwhile, the universe loves what you're doing. You have a new opportunity now to make a change, and you can even change whatever it is in your life that you don't like. You don't have to have that headache anymore. Okay. By the way, are you taking a walk every day? Do you have a daily exercise routine? I hope so. Yoga would be cool. Tai Chi. But by all means, move your body around for at least 90 minutes a day. I hope I'm just like giving good health advice in general. I'm hoping that, Kate does not need to confirm and say, yeah, I go to the gym for 3 hours a day, Breakaway Ray, but good advice. Well, Kate O'Sullivan, I hope that was an interesting message. I hope I interpreted it correctly. Thank you very much to your spirit guides if I got it right. Thanks for inviting me to read. Way to go, Tarot World. You're the best. I don't care if you furlough me. I'll keep throwing tarot cards for you. All right. Let's see who's next on this long Star Card podcast. We're coming up on 2 hours soon. Hey, level number 9. Here you go, level number 9. Let's throw some cards for you. Let's get the pretty fantasy color deck out. Kate O'Sullivan, I see your message. You are welcome. Thanks a lot. Hey, Tarot World. Level number 9 is here. 9 lives for the cat. Level number 9. Ooh, do I really want to throw 9 cards for level number 9? Okay. Why not? It's all for entertainment purposes only. It's all for fun. How about 9 cards for level number 9, please? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 cards. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I only got to 8. Here's 9. Good math, elementary school teacher. Level number 9. Check out these beautiful cards. It's the Wheel of Fortune. Look at this star of the show today. It talks about luck, and it also talks about timelines and life plans. The Hangman. It's time to have another look at something here. We don't want to look at this. I'm sorry I left this in the deck. Let's get you a regular card. Come on, dude. I'll put a commercial in my reading. Yay, 8 of Cups. It's time for you to cut your losses. Take another look at walking away from something. And then you will feel emotionally balanced. It's not worth the extra worry. Turn inward. Search your feelings, as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say. You know that is true. If you take time out to reevaluate a situation, you'll see that cutting your losses and walking away is going to give you health and peace of mind. Search your feelings. Okay, so let's keep going. Level number 9, 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, keep on working on what you were working on. You were doing fine. Okay, and guess what? There's a new opportunity on the horizon, says the Ace of Pentacles. There's always... You're working on 8 Pentacles. You're always generating new opportunities. Okay. And then sometimes, sometimes opportunities come, but you got to sweep the old project out of the way. And for some reason, while I was conjuring that thought up, I was thinking about how, musical artists in the 1960s and 70s, they would put out records, right? And one record would be great, but then the next one would be a dud. And then they couldn't wait to get into the studio and record another record to get the bad taste of the dud record out of their mouths, right? Okay. So yeah, keep on spinning your plates, but you're doing way more than just spinning. Okay. You're doing it masterfully, and it doesn't look like anything bad's going to happen. You're doing it in a responsible, practical way. That's why it always seems like there's always something new offering itself to you. Then we have to, again, conserve our energy, cut our losses, move on to the next project. Okay. That's how we're going to stay emotionally balanced and satisfied and able to do this continuous work that we're doing. In conclusion, ka-ching. If you keep doing that, I mean, let's face it, the King of Pentacles knows when to cut his losses. He knows when to strike a deal. He understands all the resources around him because he's got the Hermit on his side who helped him outline everything. He's got good advisors. Well, level number 9, I had a good time reading these beautiful cards. I want to thank the Tarot World and your spirit guides for help. Thanks for inviting me to read. I hope it was good for you. I hope it was entertaining. At least it gives us all something to think about, right? There's lots of people who might be able to identify with a timeline like that. All right. I busted 2 hours, everybody. Thank you, level number 9, and thank you, Tarot World. Let's see who's next on this long show. Whoa. Derek Woo Rider. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like I got 5 more left. Here we go, Derek. Thanks for coming back for another reading from StarCard Podcast. That's really awesome. Let's throw some cards for you. Yo, I know Derek watches lots of shows, and if he keeps tuning in the StarCard, I know I must be doing something right. I'm very reassured. Thank you, Derek. And hello, Desiree. All right, here we go, Tarot World. Let's throw some more cards for our friend, Team Woo Rider. Thank you. They got a summer vacation of their own. They live in summer vacation land, don't they? Down on the Panhandle, not the Panhandle, the Peninsula. There we go. Here we go, Derek. Here's some cards for you. Have a great vacation, man. I'm going out to Rob's show on July 4th, I think. I talked to him yesterday. The Queen of Cups. I'm going to read from the book about the Queen of Cups, but I don't want to read from this book, okay? There's a better book for the Queen of Cups. Almost any book could be better for the Queen of Cups. Where is my... Here we go. Ooh, how you like that incandescent light? It's like Close Encounters. Okay, Queen of Cups. This will just take a moment. Sweet. All right, now I'm ready to read. Queen of Cups. Extremely intuitive, a highly attuned emotional intelligence, love and compassion, sensitivity, strength, empathy, leading with your heart, healing. Whoops. Yeah. It sounds like a nurse with an exponent, some kind of magical nurse, grandmother type figure. Nurse, grandmother, kindergarten teacher. Okay, great. Invite her over to my house anytime. Whenever I'm throwing a party, a barbecue. Whoa, she's going to bring her husband, the King of Cups. Okay, no wonder they get along. They're both very empathic. They're sensitive towards others. Oh, yo, Derek. Are you near Desiree at the moment? Yo, and then if you are you watching StarCard Podcast? The inspiration card, rejuvenation, the power of 2 together to heal one another and move on and inspire each other. The 7 of Wands, and to overcome all challenges. Wow. Happy anniversary. The Hierophant, based on what you're learning about the cosmos. That seems to be a theme. You're always looking at the stars. All right, Derek. I kind of like that poetic picture of Team Woo Rider. I appreciate you inviting me to read. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tarot World. That was lovely. Even the Tarot World's getting creative and painting pictures. Here's Arizona Raven. Hey, Arizona Raven. Let's throw some groovy California cards for you. Pick these up in the Haight-Ashbury on my way up to Humboldt. These cards are for Arizona Raven. How about some cards for Arizona Raven? No, these cards for Arizona Raven. Wow. Okay. Really? Is there another card for her? Is there another card for Arizona Raven? Okay. Arizona Raven. Five of Swords. Jeez. This is the guy like on the other team who's not only good, but he's also like good looking. He's like the Tom Brady guy. You want him on your team because when he's on the other team, it's not good. And he's really good looking. All right. But then, what do we got here? Oh, yeah. Maybe he has his eye on the Nine of Pentacles lady, the fruits of one's labor. And then here is the Page of Wands, an announcement of, why don't we, whoa. Oh. All right. We got a Page of Wands and we have a blank card. We're going to go to the book on the Page of Wands. This suddenly got interesting. Page of Wands, explosive creativity and infectious enthusiasm. Ideas aplenty, creative beginnings, a newly found inspiration, honing a new skill or passion, curiosity and trying new things, gifting yourself permission to dream, great energy for creative ideation and brainstorming, a youthful spark. Oh my God. This is like, I'm not even going to characterize this as a student in school. This is me every time I am introduced to a new lady, Anyway, here we go. Here you have this guy, and here you have this lady, and they both have eyes for each other, and they both inspire each other. And you know what? Guess what? With the Page of Wands, there are unlimited opportunities. It follows that the blank card should come up alongside the Page of Wands. The world it's a total tabula rasa. It's a total blank card. Okay. I think that the Nine of Pentacles lady, the one with all the fruits of her labor, she's the one who's feeling all the inspiration. This is like a Bobby Soxer looking at Frank Sinatra or something. Anyway, let's move on. The Chariot, keep going. And the Ten of Swords, the hard times are over. So the Chariot says keep going, where I would say, in one sense, follow that inspiration. Are you charged up? Are you inspired? Even just by looking at how handsome he is, or how he's able to win, or how, he's so confident. Do these things inspire you? Guess what? you also have limitless potential, and you should keep going in that direction because you got nothing holding you back. The hard times are over. Now, if I was your dad, Arizona Raven, okay, and I saw that you had eyes for this boy, I would say, no, keep on going, okay, because that's just going to be a lot of trouble. All right, so take it for what you want. Both very creative endings, right? Choose your own adventure, Arizona Raven. Thanks for inviting me to read. Thanks for stopping in so early in the morning. Let me give these a toss. Wow. Look at all those likes. That's pretty cool, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tarot World. That was a fun reading. Okay. Whoa. Hey, Nishan. Here we go. I got Nishan, and then I got 3 more people after that. Hang on. Yeah, that's right, Arizona Raven. I agree. Laughter is the best medicine. Nishan. I feel like the Robin Wood deck is appropriate. Let's split our aces. Here we go, Nishan. These cards are for Nishan. Nishan always wins. Remember Nishan? He's a winner. These cards are for Nishan. Whatever the message is, Nishan's messengers are welcome. I'm happy to pass on the message. Sweet. I saw that. Oh, sweet. All right. I'll throw a couple of cards for the dealer, but we know that at StarCard Podcast Casino, the house never wins. It's all about the viewer. So check you out. You're already like way ahead here. You got a Page of Cups, the happy surprise guy over here, Nishan. Yeah, the happy surprise. Page of Pentacles, a new opportunity coming your way. Look for those opportunities. Check the not the want ads, the classifieds. Are you old enough to remember what a newspaper is? Because that was supposed to be like a joke. Okay, check out your other hand, Nishan. The Fool. It's a new adventure. Yeah, and you were right. You saw this coming. See? I'm not talking about gambling, by the way. You do have a new adventure, and you were right. Okay? The happy surprise is that this opportunity came your way just as you predicted, it looks like. And so, here's my 2 cents. The Hermit says, wow, you really are good at manifestation, aren't you? Do you listen to a lot of Florence Scovel Shin? You have the 10 of Pentacles, long-term security, domestic bliss, and the Hermit card. You know, because guess what? You can't have the outside without the inside. I love the fact that you are so in touch with who you are as a person. That's like a lesson for all of us, right? Mr. T could not have been Mr. T if he didn't have confidence in being Mr. T. All right, Nishan. I pity the fool who tries to gaslight you. Good job, Nishan. Thanks for inspiring all of us. Let me give these a toss. Way to go, Tarot World. Very entertaining. Yo, did I leave a card over? Check it out, Nishan. There was one left over here. King of Wands. It was the big picture. You got the big picture. Look at the Tarot World. You show off, Tarot World. More magic. You're welcome, Nishan. That's right. Okay. So Judy's here. Hey, Judy. I'm going to throw these cards, these stars of the show, the Light Seers Tarot. Yeah, look at Lisa Talcott. We're all laughing about Mr. T. He's so cool, dude. He's the nicest man. All right. But these cards are not for Mr. T. These cards are for Judy NW5 out in the UK. Here we go. Judy's in London. There's a couple of cumulonimbus clouds floating in the sky nearby. There's more than one bird flying around. Here we go, Judy. We're going to throw some cards for you. You like the cards when they come out, and I could tell your your spirit guides are already assisting me. Great. Here comes the message. This is for entertainment purposes only. So we have the King of Pentacles. Oh, wow. And the Four of Swords. I can't. I mean, this. What are we on Saturday morning? You're in Saturday night. This is a luxurious time of relaxation this particular Saturday on the weekend. The Four of Swords talks about rest and rejuvenation. Go ahead, take a nap if you haven't already. Okay, look at the King of Pentacles with his brandy snifter and his loyal hound. Easy to see that they probably live in a flat not far away from 22 Downing Street or something like that. Okay, great. I'm glad you're relaxing at home and you're checking out StarCard Podcast. Again, I'm honored. I'm flattered. Thanks for joining me, Judy. Here we go. Oh, look at you. Here's your Queen of Cups. You're really enjoying the weekend, apparently. You're really feeling a little bit inspired after this restful period. Yeah, because you got a chance to be the hermit. You get a chance to take a pause, take a breather the way you always, you envy those moments. You look for those moments as much as anyone. How do you think you got to be the Queen of Cups? Look, here's the King of Swords. He's all, that's the story about Judy. Okay. She's enjoying a Saturday out I think you're in the UK. I don't know. That was the weather that I saw. That's what I look for. So you're resting in a luxurious way. You're really enjoying the weekend and feeling like your old self again. And the King of Swords is here to say, beautiful, perfect, way to go. He's patting you on the back. Okay. How about that? The number 2 might be important to you. So you have the Two of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. Don't worry about the poor Two of Swords lady. She's not crying. The Two of Swords, sorry, that's the Nine of Swords. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. And I think, by the way, that this card came out reversed, but it doesn't matter. This is the Nine of Swords and does say that someone is worried. Someone is concerned about something. And the Two of Pentacles is talking about juggling two worlds. So if there's anything on your mind, it's like, you're not able, you got something. Yeah, you do have something on your mind. Okay. Nevertheless, the break's been good. Okay. I think it's appropriate. Like, you wouldn't go out on stage. Aren't you a dancer, Judy? Didn't you used to get like the jitters before you went on stage, right? That's appropriate anxiety, quote unquote. It's appropriate nerves. Okay. You need to have that nervous energy in order to do a good job. So the Two of Pentacles, we're all adults. We're juggling lots of dynamics in our lives. Okay. Maybe that can make anybody nervous. That can worry anyone. At the same time, look at how you really showed self-love on this Saturday. You gave yourself a break. You remembered who you were. Okay. And, your spirit world's all, good job. That's how you handle it. Anyway, Judy, I hope that was a good one. Thanks for inviting me to read. We're all enjoying your relaxation and we're learning. You really know how to take care of yourself. Thanks, Tarot World. I'm quite sure Judy understood more about what you meant than I did. Thanks very much for letting me be part of the conversation. Let me in on your phone call. Okay, and now I've got these two, Lisa and Kimberly. So I will go with Kimberly first because I realize Lisa's still in the chat. Kimberly couldn't stay. I don't blame her. You on a media fast? You're going to listen to some podcast for more than 2 hours? Come on. I got stuff to think about. Let Breakaway Ray solve his own problems. All right, Kimberly, let's throw some cards for you from this beautiful deck. You've been getting some very beautiful readings from the tarot world. Very supportive, It seems to me, from my perspective, very sensitive to what's going on. Way to go, Tarot World. Well, Kimberly is going to be tuning into this recording, looking for more encouragement and inspiration. Thank you very much for helping our friend Kimberly. I'll take those 3. All right, one more. Why not? Kimberly Bamford, the 3 of Wands. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You want to have time, you make time. You want to make something happen, you take a step forward in that direction. You want to write a poem? Really? Why not? Why not? Write a poem. You can leave it in your book. You'll be surprised when you reflect on that poem later. Oh, geez. The King of Pentacles showed up again, and the Ace of Cups. So the King of Pentacles, he's comfortably, he's 3D comfortable, right? Taking good care of himself. And the Ace of Cups is saying, upon all the blessings that King of Pentacles has, he now has a brand new life. He has a brand new love or a romance. Okay. Even after his long life, he's got a new opportunity to show love somewhere. Planning ahead, looking for it, looking for the Ace of Cups. Because he's smart enough. He knows where to find the new love, the new passion. He's making a plan. And yeah, making a plan to have a new adventure with this new passion. And the 10 of Swords is there to remind us that the hard times are over. The Ace of Cups is really sparkling here. So, Kimberly, the Empress. Look at how you have matured. I mean, sure, since you graduated high school, yeah, you have matured. But think about all the different stages of your life and how you have matured. Now you are the Empress. Does life have its ups and downs? Yeah, it does. And it makes us a different kind of a person, and it transforms us. But now you're set for abundance, because now when the shadows come, you can welcome them as part of your life. And, you're not resisting any part of the fabric of your reality. So, Kimberly Bamford, the Hangman, says, have another look at things, because the 9 of Wands says you now have a lot of experience you didn't have before, and you have a lot of new tools and a light to share with others. So spread your love around, says the Lover's card. Share your cosmic knowledge. Treat everyone like God is inside of them, and listen to the God inside of you. The Queen of Wands, go have fun, have a zest for life. Be courageous and determined. The hard times are over. All right, Kimberly, thanks for being our friend. Thank you, Tarot World, for supporting our friend. What a lovely, wonderful message. And speaking of 9 lives, here comes Lisa Tailcat. All right, Lisa, I think I'm going to stay with this deck. I'm glad you could join me. Yay, Lisa, you stayed for the whole show, huh? I wonder if we're ever going to meet someday. It'd be nice to shake your hand. Thank you, Lisa, for your encouraging comments and applause in the chat. All right. I'll remember that for the rest of the day and every time I remember your name. Here we go, Lisa. These cards are for you. A supportive friend in the digital world. Come on, Breakaway Ray. You can have friends in the digital world. I don't care if you were born in the 20th century. You old fogey. I don't know why I'm thinking about Thurston Howell III, but I know Lisa appreciates that comment. Oh, wait. Is it Lisa Tailcat? Okay. Cue the music. Sweet Georgia Brown. The music to the Harlem Globetrotters. We got some cards to move around. Dun, 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 dun. I know like a lot of parents would go home after a back to school night with Mr. Breakaway, and they would go home and to their kids and they would laugh and they go, "That's your teacher? Here you go, Lisa." 3 of Wands. Look, it's a lead off just like your friend Kimberly. 3 of Wands. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. I know you're hammering this out. I also know you have your notebook open. Next, the 7 of Wands. You're able to overcome all challenges because you're preparing for all eventualities. You're always ready for the big wave. So, out here in California, when there is no wave, it's good to take a breather and repose yourself. Remember that terrible Star Wars movie, Episode 1, with Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn? Okay, and he was fighting the dude with a double-edged lightsaber. And then Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson, gets trapped in a force field tube. And, the fight has to stop. So what does he do? He gets down on one knee and just takes a breather. He collects himself. All right. So you know when to take a breather. You don't need to paddle like a mad person when you're waiting for a wave. You just repose. You don't have to worry. You can handle any wave that comes at you. We should cue up some surf music. Okay. So here you go. Justice, cause and effect, balance, and the right thing. Do the right thing. You like all my flashbacks? Spike Lee, what a great movie. Do the right thing. And then, do the right thing. Let's go, New York Knicks. Come on, Knicks. Woo! Hey, Lisa, the 2 of Cups is here saying that whole business that Breakaway Ray just read was like a message to you from your spirit guides. Okay, so keep planning for the future. You're planning for all eventualities. Remember to take a breather when you have those opportunities and wait for energies to balance themselves. You're doing the right thing, okay? You're totally tuning in. They're congratulating you. They want to shake your hand too. Okay, so, wow. The Emperor card. Okay, Lisa. The Emperor card and the Chariot card. You're in control of where you go. Can't get much more hermetic than that. Yeah, James and the Giant Peach. I know you mentioned that last time, right? And the 3 of Pentacles says, but this time you're starting a new adventure with the spirit world. We're all going to work together. We're done with that 3D world. You're just going to, live, die, and pay taxes and stuff like that. There's more going on with you. You're probably a Rosicrucian as well. What a party, everybody. Aren't you glad I have insomnia? It was so nice of you to tune in, even if you're just watching on the recording. Come on, thanks for watching the recording. Go back and watch the other ones. There's more than 200 videos. They're all good shows. Anyway, I'm so glad that you could tune in and watch this show. And I hope I gave you something to think about. In the meantime, you know what? You made my day. Now get out there and make your own day, okay? My name's Breakaway Ray. We'll see you next time on StarCard Podcast. Have a good weekend, everybody. That was awesome. Woo, marathon show.